Picture this. You're standing in front of a mirror at 93 years old, and your reflection shows the physique of someone in their 30s. Sound impossible? That's exactly what doctors said when they first examined Richard Morgan, an Irishman who shattered every assumption we have about aging. At 93, his biological age tested at 30, with 80% muscle mass and only 15% body fat. I got. But here's the kicker. He didn't start this journey until he was 70 years old. Most people accept that getting older means getting weaker, that pain and limitation are inevitable companions of age. We've been conditioned to believe that after a certain point, our bodies are on a one-way decline. But what if I told you that this belief is not just wrong, but dangerously limiting? What if the secret to maintaining a youthful, strong body has been hiding in plain sight, requiring nothing more than consistency and the right approach? Today, I'm going to share with you the exact blueprint that transformed Richard Morgan from an ordinary 70-year-old into a medical marvel. More importantly, I'll show you how anyone at any age can begin this transformation from the comfort of their own home. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your chronological age has almost nothing to do with your physical capabilities, and you'll have the tools to prove it to yourself. The science behind what Richard achieved isn't magic, it's methodical. Our muscles don't have birth certificates. They don't know how old you are. They only respond to one thing: stimulus. When you provide the right stimulus consistently, regardless of whether you're 30, 50, 70, or 90, your muscles will adapt, grow, and strengthen. The myth that we inevitably lose strength with age exists because most people stop challenging their bodies, not because their bodies stop responding. Let me share with you the story of Margaret, a 78-year-old grandmother I met at a fitness seminar. She arrived using a walker, convinced that her best days were behind her. Margaret had accepted the narrative that her chronic back pain, her difficulty getting out of chairs, and her fear of falling were simply part of getting older. 6 months later, she was hiking with her grandchildren, carrying her own backpack, and had thrown away not just her walker, but also her chronic pain. What changed? She discovered that her body was still capable of remarkable adaptation. The foundation of any transformation begins with understanding that your core is your body's natural girdle. When this central powerhouse weakens, everything else follows. Your posture deteriorates, your back begins to ache, and simple movements become monumental challenges. But strengthening your core doesn't require expensive equipment or gym memberships. It starts with understanding how to engage these muscles properly. The plank exercise serves as the cornerstone of core development, but not in the way most people think. The beauty of the plank lies not in how long you can hold it, but in how perfectly you can maintain proper alignment. When you engage your core correctly, you're not just building strength. You're reprogramming your nervous system to maintain stability automatically throughout your daily activities. For those who find traditional planks challenging, the wall plank offers an excellent starting point. Standing arm's length from a wall, place your forearms against it, and lean forward slightly. This position allows you to feel the core engagement without the intimidation of supporting your full body weight. The key is consistency, not intensity. Holding this position for 20 seconds with perfect form is infinitely more valuable than struggling through a traditional plank with poor alignment. Consider the story of James, a 2-year-old retired carpenter who came to me complaining that he could no longer work in his workshop because his back would seize up after just minutes of standing. James had spent decades hunched over workbenches, and his body had adapted to this position. Through consistent core strengthening, starting with wall planks and progressing gradually, James not only returned to his workshop, but began taking on more complex woodworking projects than he had attempted in years. His secret wasn't just stronger muscles, it was a reprogrammed postural system. Moving beyond the core, we must address the epidemic of forward head posture and rounded shoulders that plagues our modern world. Whether you've spent years at a desk, looking down at devices, or simply allowing gravity to pull you forward, your upper back muscles have likely become weak and overstretched. This imbalance creates a cascade of problems: neck pain, headaches, reduced lung capacity, and an increased risk of falls. The rowing motion counteracts this forward collapse by strengthening the muscles that pull your shoulders back and your head into proper alignment. You don't need fancy equipment for this. A simple water bottle, a bag of rice, or even resistance created by your own body can provide adequate stimulus. The magic happens when you focus on pulling your shoulder blades together, imagining you're trying to crack a walnut between them. What makes this exercise particularly powerful for older adults is its direct transfer to daily activities. Every time you reach for something on a high shelf, get up from a chair, or carry groceries, you're essentially performing a rowing motion. By strengthening these patterns in isolation, you're building strength that immediately improves your quality of life. I recall working with Patricia, a 75-year-old retired teacher who had developed such severe forward head posture that she could barely look up to make eye contact during conversations. Her daughter brought her to me because Patricia had become increasingly isolated, embarrassed by her appearance and the chronic neck pain that accompanied her postural problems. Through consistent rowing exercises and postural awareness, Patricia not only eliminated her pain, but regained the confidence to rejoin her book club and volunteer at the local library. The physical transformation was remarkable, but the psychological impact was life-changing. The beauty of bodyweight exercises lies in their scalability and safety. Push-ups, often dismissed as too challenging for older adults, can be modified to meet anyone at their current fitness level while still providing significant benefits. The wall push-up serves as an excellent introduction to this movement pattern, allowing individuals to experience the proper muscle activation without the fear of falling or injury. What many people don't realize is that push-ups aren't just about building chest and arm strength. They're full-body exercises that require core stability, proper breathing patterns, and coordinated movement. When performed correctly, push-ups strengthen not just the obvious muscles, but also the deep stabilizers that keep you upright and balanced throughout your day. The progression from wall push-ups to knee push-ups to full push-ups isn't just about getting stronger. It's about building confidence in your body's capabilities. Each progression represents a victory, a tangible sign that your body is adapting and improving. This psychological component cannot be overstated. When you prove to yourself that improvement is possible in one area, it creates a ripple effect of confidence that extends to all aspects of your life. Lower body strength forms the foundation of independence. Your ability to rise from chairs, climb stairs, and maintain balance while walking depends entirely on the strength of your legs and glutes. Yet these are often the first muscles to weaken with inactivity, creating a vicious cycle where weakness leads to less activity, which leads to greater weakness. The squat movement pattern is fundamental to human function. We squat down to pick things up, to sit in chairs, to use the bathroom. When this pattern becomes compromised due to weakness or poor mobility, basic independence begins to erode. But here's what most people don't understand. You don't need to squat deeply to gain significant benefits. Even partial squats performed consistently can dramatically improve your functional strength. Using a chair as both target and safety net transforms the squat from an intimidating exercise into an empowering one. The chair provides feedback about depth and offers security for those worried about falling. More importantly, it allows you to practice the exact movement pattern you use dozens of times every day. As you strengthen this pattern, getting up from chairs becomes easier, climbing stairs becomes less daunting, and your overall mobility improves dramatically. Let me tell you about Robert, an 85-year-old man who had fallen twice in the previous year and was terrified of living alone. His children were pressuring him to move to assisted living, and he was beginning to accept that his independence was over. Robert's primary issue wasn't age. It was that his leg muscles had become too weak to support his body effectively. Through chair squats and progressive strengthening, Robert not only regained his confidence but proved to his family that he could continue living independently. 6 months later, he was not only living alone but had started taking daily walks around his neighborhood. The glute bridge exercise addresses one of the most overlooked aspects of senior fitness: posterior chain strength. Your glutes and hamstrings are responsible for keeping you upright, powering your walking stride, and protecting your lower back. When these muscles weaken, Your entire posture changes, often leading to the characteristic forward lean that many associate with aging. What makes glute bridges particularly valuable is their gentle nature. Performed lying down, they eliminate the balance challenges of standing exercises while still providing significant strengthening benefits. The movement also helps counteract the effects of prolonged sitting, which unfortunately characterizes much of modern life, regardless of age. The progression from basic glute bridges to single-leg variations provides a clear path of advancement, allowing individuals to continuously challenge themselves as they grow stronger. This progression is crucial for maintaining motivation and ensuring continued adaptation. Often overlooked but critically important are the calf muscles, which function as your body's secondary heart. These muscles help pump blood back up from your legs to your heart, a function that becomes increasingly important as we age. Weak calf muscles contribute to poor circulation, swelling, and increased fall risk due to reduced ankle stability. Heel raises can be performed almost anywhere and require no equipment, making them the perfect exercise for maintaining lower leg strength and circulation. The beauty of this exercise lies in its simplicity and immediate application to daily activities like walking and maintaining balance. Beyond strength training, cardiovascular health remains paramount for healthy aging. Your heart is a muscle, and like all muscles, it responds to appropriate stimulus. However, cardiovascular exercise for older adults doesn't need to be high impact or intimidating. Walking remains one of the most effective and accessible forms of cardiovascular exercise, providing benefits for heart health, bone density, balance, and mental well-being. Dancing offers a unique combination of cardiovascular exercise, coordination training, and social interaction. The cognitive demands of following dance steps provide additional brain training benefits, making it a comprehensive activity for healthy aging. Swimming and water aerobics provide cardiovascular benefits without joint stress, making them ideal for those with arthritis or joint concerns. Perhaps most intriguingly, rebounding or mini trampoline exercises offer unique benefits for balance and proprioception. The unstable surface challenges your vestibular system, your body's balance center, forcing it to make constant micro-adjustments. This training directly translates to improved balance in daily activities and reduced fall risk. Consider Eleanor, a 73-year-old who had become increasingly unsteady on her feet following a minor stroke. Her fear of falling had led her to become sedentary, which only worsened her balance problems. Through progressive balance training, including rebounding exercises, Eleanor not only regained her stability but developed better balance than she had possessed before her stroke. The key was consistent, progressive challenge to her balance systems. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: nutrition. You can perform the perfect exercise routine, but without proper fuel, your body cannot adapt, recover, or grow stronger. The nutritional needs of older adults are both more critical and more challenging to meet than those of younger individuals. Protein becomes absolutely crucial as we age because our bodies become less efficient at utilizing the protein we consume. This phenomenon, called anabolic resistance, means that older adults need more protein per meal to achieve the same muscle-building response as younger individuals. The goal isn't just to prevent muscle loss, it's to actively build and maintain muscle mass throughout the aging process. The timing and distribution of protein intake matters significantly. Rather than consuming most of your protein at dinner, spreading protein throughout the day provides your muscles with a constant supply of building blocks for repair and growth. This approach, combined with resistance exercise, can actually reverse age-related muscle loss. Bone health represents another critical component of healthy aging, and it extends far beyond simply consuming calcium. Vitamin D, magnesium, and vitamin K all play crucial roles in bone metabolism. More importantly, weight-bearing exercise provides the stimulus necessary for maintaining bone density. Your bones, like your muscles, adapt to the demands placed upon them. The anti-inflammatory properties of omega-3 fatty acids become increasingly important as chronic inflammation tends to increase with age. This low-grade inflammation, sometimes called inflammaging, contributes to numerous age-related diseases and can impair recovery from exercise. Regular consumption of omega-3 rich foods helps combat this inflammation while supporting brain and heart health. Hydration deserves special attention for older adults, as the sensation of thirst decreases with age and kidney function may be compromised. Proper hydration affects everything from joint lubrication to nutrient transport to temperature regulation. The goal isn't just to avoid dehydration, it's to maintain optimal hydration for peak function. The story of Frank illustrates the power of combined exercise and nutrition perfectly. At 89, Frank was preparing for what he assumed would be his final years. He was weak, frequently confused, and had been diagnosed with early-stage dementia. His family was researching memory care facilities. But Frank's decline wasn't inevitable. It was largely the result of poor nutrition, dehydration, and complete inactivity. Through a carefully implemented program of progressive exercise and targeted nutrition, Frank not only halted his decline, but experienced a remarkable reversal. His cognitive function improved dramatically, his strength returned, and his zest for life was rekindled. At 91, Frank was leading exercise classes at his senior center and had become a local advocate for healthy aging. His transformation wasn't miraculous, it was methodical. The key to Frank's success, and to the success of every individual who defies the conventional expectations of aging, lies in consistency and progressive overload. Your body doesn't care that you're starting at 70, 80, or 90. It only cares that you're providing it with appropriate stimulus for adaptation. This brings us to the most important lesson. It's never too late to start, but it's always too early to give up. Richard Morgan didn't discover some secret fountain of youth. He simply refused to accept the limitations that society expected him to embrace. He understood that his body was still capable of remarkable adaptation, regardless of his chronological age. The exercises and nutritional strategies I've shared today aren't revolutionary. They're fundamental human movement patterns and basic nutritional requirements. What makes them revolutionary is the context in which we're applying them, and the belief that improvement is possible at any age. Your chronological age is simply a number. Your biological age is determined by your choices. Every day, you have the opportunity to make decisions that either accelerate or decelerate your aging process. The exercises you choose to perform, the foods you choose to eat, and the beliefs you choose to hold about your capabilities all contribute to your biological age. The most profound realization for many of my older clients isn't physical, it's psychological. When you prove to yourself that your body can still adapt, grow stronger, and become more capable, it fundamentally changes how you view your future. Instead of anticipating decline, you begin planning for continued growth and adventure. As we conclude this journey together, remember that the most important workout is your next one. The most important meal is your next one. The most important day to start is today. You don't need to transform overnight like Richard Morgan. You just need to begin. Start with one exercise, performed with perfect form, held or repeated for whatever duration you can manage today. Tomorrow, try to do slightly more. Next week, add a second exercise. In a month, you'll be surprised by your progress. In 6 months, you'll be amazed by your transformation. Your body is waiting for you to challenge it again. Your muscles are ready to grow stronger. Your cardiovascular system is prepared to become more efficient. Your bones are eager to become denser. The only question remaining is, are you ready to discover what's truly possible? The fountain of youth isn't a mystical spring hidden in some remote location. It's not a pill, a procedure, or a product. It's a mindset combined with consistent action. It's the belief that your best days don't have to be behind you, coupled with the daily choices that make those better days possible. Welcome to your ageless journey. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today.